What's going on? In this video, I'm gonna show you how to do hamstring curls and leg extensions if you don't have a hamstring curl and leg extension machine in your home gym. Let's get into the video. We're gonna start off with hamstring curls. Later on in the video, we'll do leg extensions. I'm gonna show you some pieces of equipment that I use to make these exercises more convenient and enjoyable and also easy to progressive overload. If you wanna buy these pieces of equipment because you don't have them already, I'll put the link in the description, or they might just give you ideas for what you can use that you already have access to at home. For the hamstring curl and also for the leg extension, but we're gonna start with the hamstring curl, this monkey feet is absolutely amazing. I'm not sponsored by them. I do have an affiliate link. If you want to use that link, it'll give you about 10% off. Again, the link is in the description. This is by far, without question, my favorite piece of equipment for at-home training for hamstring curls and leg extensions. Now, I'm going to show you how you can use these for hamstring curls. Basically, what you can do is first, you just grab a dumbbell that you have access to, and it is going to directly attach to the dumbbell. It's already on. Then you're going to put your foot into the foot space is what we're gonna call it. I don't know what it's called. And you're just gonna latch it in. Easy. Now you're ready to go. Now from here, I like to get a box so I can step onto it, because if you don't do that and you're doing hamstring curls, you're gonna have a smaller range of motion. But when you step onto an elevated surface, you can get a full range hamstring curl with full knee extension. I also like to have it stand in front of a wall, dumbbell rack, or reverse hyper, whatever you want in front of you. And this way you can do hamstring curls standing when full hip extension and getting full knee flexion. I really love this variation. One thing I want you to pay attention to at the monkey foot is you'll see how the weight is actually below my foot. What this does is this makes the lever arm between the weight and my knee, the point of rotation, significantly longer than a standard hamstring curl. In a standard hamstring curl on a machine, the pad is gonna be right in your lower calf, right? So the weight that you're pressing down is coming from here, whereas with the monkey foot, the weight is way lower down. So all of a sudden, 5 pounds, 10 pounds becomes significantly more difficult than it would be on a standard hamstring curl. One of the reasons I love this for the home gym is because very rarely do we find an exercise in the home gym that allows you to train knee flexion, bending your leg like this, for the hamstring. If you want to train your hamstring, very often we're doing Romanian deadlifts, single leg Romanian deadlifts, cable pull-throughs, kettlebell swings. We're doing many things that train the hamstring in hip extension, but not much in knee flexion. There is another drill I'm gonna show you after this, but the issue with that drill is it's hard to progressively overload. It's hard to add weight or make it more difficult. Whereas with this, all you have to do is you strap on a dumbbell and add more weight progressively over time, and you don't need that much weight. I know very few people who can hamstring curl 20 pounds on these monkey feet for a significant number of repetitions. I cannot recommend this enough. Again, the monkey feet link is in the description of this video. Now, if you don't have access to monkey feet or dumbbells, or if they're outside your budget, you can always get an ankle weight for a little bit more of an affordable cost. Obviously, the downside of that is you can't get as heavy with ankle weights, but for the vast majority of people, I do think this is a really good starting point, although I would recommend eventually getting dumbbells and potentially monkey feet if you're not going to invest in a leg extension or a leg curl. With that being said, what we can do here is what I want you to pay attention to is, just like with the leg curl machine, the weight is higher up, right? So you're not going to have as much as long of a lever arm. So lighter weight, and it's actually gonna be a little bit easier than the monkey feet because the lever arm is shorter. But we're gonna do the same thing over here. You're gonna step up onto an elevated surface, and you can do leg curls in the exact same way. You can get ankle weights in 5, 10, 15 pound increments, maybe even heavier than that, which would be wonderful. If it's too easy for you, you can do pauses, you can do slow eccentrics, you can do 1.5 repetitions. There are many things you can do to make it more difficult and progressively overload it, but it is a really, really great variation that you can do if you want. You could even strap 2 ankle weights onto 1 foot if you wanted to add double the weight based on whatever you have. I'll put the link to these in the description of this video as well. I just got them off of Amazon. Now, the third way to do hamstring curls at home, and this one is definitely more well-known, and it's one of my personal favorites. I use it all the time in the inner circle because physio balls are something that I would say most people with a home gym have, and they're relatively inexpensive. Again, I'll put the link to this in the description of the video. You could just do physio ball hamstring curls. In the inner circle, I call them SHELKs. They just stand for supine hip extension leg curl. And what you do is you lie down on your back. I like getting my feet about halfway or slightly more than halfway over the ball. I drive up, and now we can just do hamstring curls this way. You get a little bit of an instability component, which is nice, especially from a knee health perspective. The issue is once you get proficient in these, which I find depending on the person could be between 3 months to 6 months or a little bit longer if they're a very beginner and maybe didn't do many athletics growing up. But once you get to a certain point, this is just not difficult anymore. You need very high reps. So one way to progress it would be to do a double leg concentric and a single leg eccentric is a really great progression to progressively overload. And then from there, what you can do is you can just go straight into single leg shelks. This is very difficult. This is gonna sound pretentious. I know I'm making it look easy. It's really difficult. And I'm not saying that to brag. It's really, really difficult to go from here and curl all the way in and control all the way out while keeping your hips fully extended. I will say, this is an amazing exercise for strengthening your hamstrings and protecting your knees. But I think the major difference is, while this is great for strengthening them, I don't think it's one of the best exercises for building bigger hamstrings, building thicker hamstrings. If you want your hamstrings to grow, these will only help you to a point. I do think that the monkey feet would be a better option because you have a much greater ability to progressively overload, to add more weight over time. Whether you have the monkey feet, the ankle weights, or the physio ball, they're all amazing variations. If I could only pick one for the rest of my life, candidly, I would go for the monkey feet just because it's so versatile and the progressive overload is significantly greater. If I didn't have access to the monkey feet, I would go with this, and anyone who's in this inner circle knows how much I love the shelk because I program it all the time. It's an amazing exercise. If your goal has nothing to do with growth and is more about strength and athleticism, I'd probably go with this because you get the instability component, which is really, really nice, especially for knee health and just overall strength. They all have their pros and cons. I think all of them are better than either alone. That's it. These are 3 ways to do hamstring curls in your home gym. Now let's go into the leg extensions. Okay, moving on, I'm gonna group the monkey feet and the ankle weight into just one exercise. I have another one after this, which is brutal, and I love to hate it type thing. It's super effective. I'm gonna just show you how to do leg extensions with the monkey foot. From here, you've already seen how I put it in. If you have any questions about the monkey feet, feel free to post them below. If you want me to just do a whole video on other ways I use them or how I recommend you use them, there's so much you can do with them. I'm a huge fan, and again, I'm not sponsored by them. I do have an affiliate link if you buy from my link where you can get a discount, but I'm not sponsored by them, even though I would love to be because I'm a huge fan of this piece of equipment. But for the leg extension, you can do it in many, many ways. There are many ways to set it up. You could even set it up in a squat rack. The one that I found that's most convenient for me is just using my 45-degree extension. And what I do here is I just get over the top like this. And from here, you can see all I have to do is a leg extension. Now, what I should have done is I'm going to clap and I'm going to change this setting so it's a little bit higher up. Perfect, higher up. Now, this is gonna give me a little bit of a better range of motion, a better position for a good leg extension. In the same way that the lever arm is longer on the leg curl, it's also longer on the leg extension, because usually in the leg extension, the pad is up here on your shin, so you don't need nearly as much weight. As an aside, this is one of my favorite drills I've been doing for my front splits. We'll put a picture up of me doing my front split here and sort of my progression, which has been tremendous over the last year. Because what I'll do here is not only do I train my quad, but if I want to, I can do a little bit of a hip flexor raise. I elevate my knee and then I extend, which makes it way harder. And you get great hip flexor strength and quad strengthening, and also some hamstring mobility here as well. Not to mention the knee strength that you get from doing this. This is without question my favorite way to do leg extensions at home. You can also do it with the ankle weight if you prefer as well. Again, not nearly as much weight as you would get with the monkey feet, but this is the most specific you're gonna get to a leg extension in a gym for both quad strength and size, and also hip flexor strength as well. Now, this one is devastating and brutal and very difficult and also highly effective. It is called a sissy squat. I don't know why it's called a sissy squat, because you're definitely not a sissy if you do it. Maybe it's because it'll make a sissy out of you. That's probably it. Definitely makes a sissy out of me. I'm gonna hold on to this for support, especially to show you the technique. I'm gonna show you how I do it, and I'm gonna show you some regressions and progressions as well. Generally speaking, the sissy squat is I like to have my feet either like a little bit close together or all the way close together if I'm being a little bit spicy with it, but usually about just a couple inches apart with my toes pointing forward. I'm gonna keep my hips forward. I don't want my hips to break like this. I wanna keep my hips forward. I'm gonna come onto my toes and I'm gonna drive my knees forward towards the ground until they touch and come back up. You might have heard my knees crack. It's okay, at least for me. If there's no pain, you're good. If there's pain in your knees when they crack, that's a problem. What you're gonna notice is as I'm doing this, I'm only holding on as much as I need to in order to support myself and use the right technique. If I'm holding on too much, then I'm gonna end up using too much of my arm and not as much of my quad strength. This is like a very pure quad exercise. So again, I'm gonna shoot my knees forward towards the ground. As I lean back, my knees are going forward, 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 light with this hand, knees touch, and come back up. Usually for me, where I'm at right now, which is not advanced by any means, I'll do sets of between 6 to 10 with just this. 6 on a day where I'm not feeling that good, 10 if I'm really able to push it. Once I could probably do about 12 to 15 body weight, no problem. That's when I would probably take a dumbbell and I'd hold the dumbbell by my side, and then I would be able to load this with more weight. If you can't do this yet, if you can't go down as far as I did, what I would say is do the exact same technique, but just reduce the range of motion. So instead of going all the way with your knees to the ground, maybe just go to here and then come back up. But the main thing to keep in mind is your hips are shooting forward, your knees are shooting forward. It's okay to get a slight arch in your back. I don't mind about an arch. I would care about if you end up sending your hips back, because now you're not gonna be using as much quad. So your hips have to be really far forward, squeezing your butt cheeks nice and tight. Think about like someone's trying to stick their finger in your butt cheek, but you don't want them to. Butt's nice and tight. You go as far down as you can, and then come back up. Now, this is a lot of stress on your knees. So if you have knee pain or you're going through knee surgery or something, do not try this exercise. It's very, very taxing on your knee. If you have any knee pain, I would not do it. But if you have otherwise healthy knees, this is an absolutely devastatingly effective exercise, not only for your quads, but also for improving your knee health and your knee strength and your knee resiliency, assuming you don't have any knee issues currently. Now, before I end this video, I just wanna say, if you like this video, if you like how I give exercise technique instructions, if you like my progressions and regressions, if you just like how I present this, you might wanna consider joining my inner circle. It's basically where I give new workouts every single month, 3 times a week options, 4 times a week options, dumbbell only options, full gym access options, specialization programs for deadlifts and squats and bench press, guidelines on how to improve your heart health, how to improve your strength, how to improve your mobility. We have programs for everything and everyone, but especially for people who are your average, everyday people, moms, dads, husbands, wives, parents, grandparents, maybe younger kids as well, like teenagers, college kids, but mainly people who just want to improve their health, who want to get stronger, lose fat, get more defined, and live a healthy life that allows fitness to be incorporated into your life rather than trying to incorporate your life into fitness. We do have some higher level athletes in there as well, but the majority of the people there, they just want to improve their health, improve their performance, and develop a better relationship with their body and with health and with fitness. If that sounds like you, if you want me to take care of all the guesswork for you, so I write your workout programs, I tell you how many calories, how much protein, how much fiber to eat, have access to my massive exercise video database, I would love to have you in the inner circle. I will put the link in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you soon.